Welcome everybody to the Cover 2 episode Trente Cuatro.
Oh, some Spanish.
Spanish in there.
Oh my gosh. Bilingual Cover 2.
That's 34 if you do not know Spanish. But we are back. We are presented by TigerVision as always. I'm Patrick Neal. This is Grayson Mann. We're back again. A little interesting weekend in the NFL.
Yeah, there was a lot of sorrow. There's a lot of pain, as you'll see in a second when we get to it. A lot of pain, but there was punts towards the rear. There were injuries. There were shocking endings. There were trash talks. A lot of stuff happened.
Yep,
Very excited.
I would be inclined to agree. Where do you want to start, Grayson?
Let us start with the butt punt. The Dolphins.
Down in Miami.
The butt punt was over. The butt punt, if you were an ESPN storyline or headliner, you'd say ESPN's Adam Schefter reports that the butt punt overshadowed what may be Miami's best start in years.
I mean, the Dolphins are 3-0.
They might be.
You can't start better than that.
That might be pretty legit.
Yeah.
Unfortunately to say, they look very, very good. And Tua looks pretty good, despite him falling over in the first half.
Yeah, so he sustained a back injury, I guess. I mean, he could very well have a back injury, but he got clocked and then proceeds to get up and is stumbling around. Did not look like he was totally there upstairs. So
did you see the meme? It was like, Tua, are you concussed? And he responds, Abraham Lincoln. And he's like, oh, he's fine. Get him back in there.
Oh gosh, so Tua's probably concussed.
Probably.
The NFLPA, I believe, are launching an investigation. So everybody knows how that's going to turn out.
They absolutely did not buy the fact that he passed concussion protocol.
Yeah, but it's going to end up like they're going to ask Tua if he has a concussion. He's going to say no, and they're going to be like, okay.
Yeah, I was really listening to a show about that. They were like, this is how the NFLPA investigations go. Were you concussed on Sunday? No. Okay. Have fun on Thursday.
Yeah. So, yeah, he has a short week as well. So, even if he is concussed, which he probably is, he's got less time to recover from that. So,
from the back injury.
Maybe seeing ghosts like Sam Darnold a few years ago on Thursday. But
based on his throws, I'd have to disagree. But
yeah,
Josh Allen.
Maybe not.
And
Josh
Allen.
Allen.
Something that the Bills, I think, are going to start to catch up with them, and my Super Bowl pick may be in danger. They can't run the football. So Miami was just like, all right.
Well, Josh Allen can run the football.
He can indeed run the football, but they can't have a traditional running game in the sense of handing it to your backs and allowing them to make the plays and diversify the offense. But no, they just toss the ball around like they're in the backyard. It's effective because you have Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. So they also had two instances where they couldn't clock it fast enough, and they had 6 points left on the board.
Yeah, that was unfortunate for him. A few mistakes from Josh Allen, and like you said, this team cannot run the ball. Josh Allen had 63 pass attempts. I believe he dropped back 70 times.
Ridiculous.
It was super hot in Miami, which the Bills are not used to. It was probably around 100 degrees on the field.
Yeah, the humidity it's literal, like it's hell on earth down there.
Yeah,
it's bad.
I mean, there's not many more players you would want to have to rely on than Josh Allen, but this Bills team is fully reliant on Josh Allen and what Josh Allen is doing. Now, thankfully for them, he's playing at an MVP candidate level, so that's kind of working for him. But Micah Hyde is out for the year. Jordan Poyer did not play in this game. Tre'Davious White is not back yet. This defense, Ed Oliver also didn't play. This defense has taken some massitive hits. And
very depleted.
Is very depleted.
So is the mental health of Ken Dorsey, because he
was rage quitting.
It's like a 7-year-old after like Fortnite, and when you get second place.
It's like if you Flight Reacts.
Oh yeah. Oh,
yeah.
You've seen if he loses a game of Fall Guys, his controller is basically done for.
Yeah. So we need to Photoshop what Ken Dorsey did and put him in like the corner of like some Fortnite
Twitch stream
or something.
something.
Yeah, exactly.
Flight in a
Somebody
Madden
do
game.
that for us.
It's just like a phony, just boom, boom, boom.
But yeah,
it's pretty bad.
He did not look super happy. So Dolphins are legit. Probably.
They're legit.
Bills are probably still legit. Just a little bit of worry because this team is fully reliant on Josh Allen. He was their leading rusher as well.
Yeah.
So
being interesting to us when we continue the show and see how things play out. If Miami can somehow find a way to get a home playoff game, because it's still going to be hot in Miami. The temperature never really changes. Maybe just
it'll
a
be
cool
a
day
bit
in Miami
by
is
the
like,
time it's December. And
they're like, man, what a cool
January.
day outside, 85 degrees. So
yeah, but I mean,
call
it's
it
either that or like playing in
like
Buffalo.
12 degrees.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a difference.
Yeah. Well, anyways, on to another AFC matchup. The Colts somehow beat the Chiefs 20-17 on Sunday.
That was a game I thought I had figured out, and then I was like, oh, the Colts are winning. Okay. What happened here?
I mean, the Colts are still not a good team.
No.
It's more just the Chiefs shot themselves in the foot like 20 times. I mean, you had plenty of special teams concerns, special teams errors with Sky Moore. Chris Jones is chirping in Matt Ryan's ear for some reason.
Yeah, and it's Matt Ryan, so like, what is Matt Ryan really going to say to Chris Jones that's really going to set him up? I don't know. I'm not going to speak for anybody, but it felt like championship teams in those kind of crucial situations, you keep your mouth shut and you walk back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, maybe I don't know what Chris Jones would have said to him that was so bad.
Yeah.
Maybe hit him with a really bad yo mama joke or something.
He's like, Matt Ryan, you fumble the ball a lot. He probably listened to the Cover 2 podcast and was like, hey, Patrick and Grayson said you're washed, and Matt Ryan was like, what?
Yeah.
That's my guess.
I mean, the refs were right next to him, so they definitely
heard it all.
Whatever he said. I'm interested to see what he said. Hear what he said.
I doubt that it's very Cover 2 friendly.
But probably not. But I don't know. Yeah, I mean, the Chiefs just kind of shot themselves in the foot.
Yeah, they'll rebound, though. This is a team that lost Tyreek Hill, and they're still trying to figure out the pieces of what their offensive identity is going to be. Are they going to be a running team? Are they going to try to kind of replicate it with Juju, Sky Moore, not Justin Ross, sadly, but I'm not worried about Kansas City. This is more or less of just one of those games where you just knock it up as they don't make the same mistakes, they win this football game.
Yeah, and luckily for them, it's kind of looking like the AFC West might not be as good as everybody thought it was going to be.
It's falling apart.
So, maybe this isn't as big a deal for them as you would maybe think at the start of the season. Like before the start of the season, you're probably thinking like, I mean, we were also probably thinking the Colts were going to be a lot better, but.
Did you think that one team would be 0-3? There'd be only one team in the AFC West over 500. Well, two of them, but the Broncos I pretty much consider as a ball club.
I mean, they got a little asterisk by that 2-1.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a sec, though.
But other notes from this game: Eric Bieniemy and Patrick Mahomes kind of got into it before halftime. It was because Mahomes wanted to try and get points on the board before half. Bieniemy just said, let's just walk into the locker room, reset, and come out strong after halftime. But I mean, when you lose by 3, maybe Mahomes was right.
Mahomes is one of the guys that can really just point to the evidence, being like, man, I scored 3 in 13 seconds.
Exactly.
At least give me a chance.
Exactly. Yeah, I would have probably given it to Mahomes, but Eric Bieniemy is also an offensive genius, so
got a default when
most of the time he knows what he's doing. So,
we get it. This is the
Chiefs
first.
will be fine.
This is the first week now, Patrick. Now that we transition to Cincy, this is the first week in this Cover 2 fall semester that we talk about a Bengals W.
That is very true. The Bengals won 27-12 against the Jets. Thankfully,
Clap it up. First win. Clap it up.
They were able to start fast this week. You get that touchdown to Samaje Perine. You almost had a touchdown to T. Higgins, which probably should have counted.
That was not cool, NFL.
T. Higgins is a wide receiver one on how many teams?
31?
I mean,
32, 30. Just Jefferson. I don't know.
Well, Jefferson,
Devontae Adams,
Diggs, Keenan Allen.
Okay, maybe like 25 teams.
Yeah, somewhere around that. But T. Higgins is nice, dude.
He's very. I mean, that play was.
Woo. And then also later on, he catches it over Sauce Gardner, who also had a very decent game, and then gets clocked by LaMarcus Joyner.
That was a dirty hit. That was. I don't know how he.
I don't know how he held on to that.
I don't know.
But
he's just that guy.
He got hit week 1 in the head, didn't play the rest of the game, and now that again, he might be in the same boat as Tua come Thursday.
Yeah, he might be falling over. But hey, I think T. Higgins will be resurrected because of the white uniforms. All health issues go away when you see that drip.
Those white Bengal unis are going to be nice on Thursday.
So nice.
But yeah, the Bengals were able to start fast. They're also able to hit explosive plays with that T. Higgins catch where LaMarcus Joyner hit him, and with the Tyler Boyd long touchdown as well. That was kind of what they were struggling with these first 2 games, that and running the ball. But yeah, they were able to hit on explosives this week. So good for them.
Personally, I was never really worried about Cincinnati because you look at the first game in Pittsburgh, there were Jamar Chase missed touchdown call and a lot of extra points and field goals away from winning that game. The second game, you can kind of just chalk it up as whatever with Joe Burrow, but Bengals, they're gonna be fine. They got the Ravens to worry about, but the AFC it's still very early too, so they could also go on a 7-game win streak, and then it's a totally different conversation.
Very true.
It's always nice to play the Jets to be a little bit of a rebound team.
Yeah, but they got the Dolphins this week on a short week. It's gonna be tough. It's in Cincinnati. It's a whiteout, just like how the Giants did it this week.
I can't wait.
But it's gonna be a tough matchup. So hopefully they're able to get back to 500. If they can get back to 500, they're in a good spot.
Yeah.
Because I don't think the Browns are gonna do much. I don't think the Steelers are gonna do much.
Nope.
So all hopes that the Bengals win this week. Anyways, on to another AFC matchup. We're just very AFC heavy right now.
Just going to start bowing down.
Jaguars.
Trevor.
Big win against the Chargers.
Let's clap it up for Trevor Lawrence. Big NFL win.
Yeah. Great win for the Jaguars. Albeit the Chargers did have J.C. Jackson injured, Corey Linsley injured. Rashawn Slater is now out for the year.
Yeah.
Did I say Joey Bosa? Joey Bosa went out this game.
Herbert's
Herbert's dealing with.
Herbert shouldn't have played. I'm being honest with you.
Herbert's dealing with rib cartilage issues. Keenan Allen didn't play. This is going to be big for the Chargers. I mean, every year they have a fantastic roster, but it's just always so injury riddled.
They always lose games they shouldn't, or they get super injured to the point where they are a under 500 team. But let's not let this take away from Jacksonville, because that's still a very talented roster, like we've said. And Trevor Lawrence continues to improve. He's made so many just big time throws. There were about 3 or 4 throws that he made on Sunday where my jaw just dropped to the floor. It was ridiculous.
He was fantastic, and he's taken that second-year leap that QBs often take.
It's almost like having no Urban Meyer on your team does something.
Yeah, this team, the difference that has been made by this coaching staff compared to the one last year, is night and day.
Very good.
I mean, there aren't words to describe it. Urban Meyer and that coaching staff might have been the worst coaching staff in the NFL NFL history.
It was bad.
Doug Peterson comes in, puts some stability, and they're looking good. And again, not to toot my own horn. I did it last week, but I'm every week they win, I'm just going to keep saying the same thing. Jaguars are winning the AFC South, and they got to be favorites by now.
Well, they're 2-1. The Colts are a mess. The Texans, we already knew from the get-go they weren't going to do anything. They couldn't. I think the Bears, and we'll talk. We're not going to talk about the Bears specifically for games, but
maybe we will. But yeah, I mean, there's much to talk about. With
the Texans are a terrible team. We know this. Yeah. They're not a very good football roster with not a very good coach. And
the
Titans.
They don't do it for me.
They don't do it. But the big game. Everyone's been hyping up Philadelphia. If Jacksonville goes to, is it in Philly or is it in Jacksonville?
It is in Philadelphia.
If they can go into Philadelphia with them 3-0, I can't imagine that the Eagles fans won't show up, and it'll be a nuts environment. If Lawrence goes in there and they beat the Eagles, it could be pretty legit.
They might look pretty legit, but
they already have taken so many strides, and this is what we pretty much expected from Trevor Lawrence.
Lawrence has like as many touchdowns or near as many touchdowns as he had all of last year.
Yeah,
for passing touchdowns. So,
it's kind of crazy because like the 2 Clemson quarterbacks, you kind of compare, like both last year was a struggle. This year,
the Tiger.
They're just going. They're on the up.
It's the year of the Tiger.
That's right.
But anyways, like we mentioned with the Chargers, they might be in some serious trouble with these injuries.
Yeah, they will. Herbert, we don't know. I mean, he played, but do we know how long that kind of?
He played this whole game, which he didn't need to.
No, he didn't. Once it was clear that the game was over, they should have taken him out. I don't know what the decision was there, because you're just putting your franchise quarterback at even more risk.
Yeah, he took a lot of hits. He made a fantastic throw.
He did.
Which
rolling
he does
out
every game.
and just.
But yeah, feel bad for the Chargers, man.
Got to. So it's always we always sit here and feel bad for the Chargers. It's just it's a tradition.
But you were talking about the Eagles. We can go ahead and move on to an NFC game.
The best team in the NFC.
Yeah,
put it out there. Your predictions looking very. You've been on fire with the predictions, my guy.
We'll see. It's only week 3.
It's only week 3, but so far so good.
So, the Eagles, they beat the Commies.
The Cammies.
24-8.
The Commanders' passing offense was pretty atrocious.
Yeah, at one point the Eagles had over 300 passing yards, and the Commanders had -1.
This is all part of the Carson Wentz experience. So next week he's about guaranteed to go off.
Yeah, unfortunately, in one of the fantasy leagues I'm in, I traded for Carson Wentz.
Oh.
I mean, it's Carson Wentz, so you got to expect it.
Yeah.
But kind of tough. What happened? I only got like 8 points from him.
That's
tough. Eagles look fantastic.
They did.
Devontae Smith is him.
Yeah, we won't use that trend, that word, the dog in him or him, too often, but that Devontae Smith. Pretty worthy.
A coming out party. He looked fantastic. Jalen Hurts looks fantastic. He is probably up there for MVP.
Oh, absolutely. He's made such an improvement with his throwing game, just within the throwing game alone. The rushing attack we knew he had.
Yeah.
The way he's been able to just progress through his reads, make decisions with the football, I'm in shock. I honestly thought whenever he came in the NFL, I thought he'd be serviceable. Mm-hmm. Like maybe a Marcus Mariota type. It's just levels better than that.
He has been fantastic. Also, side note, we might have had this conversation before.
Okay.
Is Jalen Hurts the best looking quarterback in the NFL?
He does have like
I was talking about this earlier with someone.
The fade is pretty impressive.
I think personally, like everybody's probably like Jimmy Garoppolo. I think Jalen Hurts is the best looking quarterback.
Jimmy Garoppolo's got the gray hairs now. You can tell he's been pretty stressed for the last.
He's that aged.
He's not aged well.
Like fine wine. I mean, he's still very good looking.
Yeah.
I just think Jalen Hurts might be the best looking one in the NFL.
That's a conversation for another day.
Yeah, maybe when we're light on content, maybe we rank quarterbacks.
We do like a bachelor version of our quarterbacks.
Yeah.
That's something that maybe look forward to.
But yeah, anyways, Eagles look good.
And the stadium didn't collapse on Jalen Hurts.
Yeah,
it's always nice.
They were like security guards making sure it didn't fall on him when he was walking out.
Hey, they learned.
Where do we want to go next?
Let's go to the Broncos, but hold on, let me just do what I was doing on Sunday night. Just go.
Yeah.
Broncos country.
Fest.
Let's hide. Broncos country.
Yeah, snooze fest. Absolute snooze fest.
It was a tough watch.
The Broncos still do not look good. The Niners, we saw why they wanted to move on to Trey Lance. Jimmy Garoppolo wasn't quite near the level of Dan Orlovsky, but he did run out the back of the end zone.
He did. And I think Orlovsky actually didn't do himself any favors by drawing more attention to the fact that he was indeed the first.
It's his thing, though, so...
Yeah, I mean, he's embraced it.
He's kind of got to own it.
Did you see that not Dan Orlovsky, that Nathaniel Hackett has he hired somebody this week to pretty much tell him what to do in these like crucial game situations?
I think I heard something like that. That's kind of hilarious.
He's got like a senior football advisor that pretty much instructs him on certain game situations. So they basically, Nathaniel, the play clock actually runs here, or you should do this, basically telling him how to do his job. So 3 games in, that's not a good sign for Broncos country.
That's not a good sign when your head coach needs extra help knowing what to do when coaching football games.
According to, I was listening to a podcast, they did an interview with Nathaniel, and they were asking him about like the interview process, and apparently the Broncos didn't bother asking him about his game strategy at all. And that may not be true, but I did want to at least put it out there.
Yeah, that might be a question you want to ask in
like, what's your philosophy in the 2-minute warning?
Was this the new ownership though, or the old ownership?
Might have been old.
Because if it was old ownership, they don't care.
Yeah, they don't care.
They just wanted Russell Wilson to increase the price.
Russell Wilson has been looking pretty. I mean, except for the one drive that they needed him to perform. Good Lord, this has been the complete opposite of what I expected.
He has not looked good.
I mean, they're 2-1, so I guess that's worth something. But I'm putting a huge asterisk on that because they look awful.
I mean, to be fair, if you can look bad and still win and still be 2-1, good for you, I guess.
Yeah.
Winning is hard to do in the NFL, so you can if you can do it, props to you. But You don't look great doing it, so.
Broncos country. Let's hide.
Yeah. I don't know. Any other thoughts before we move on to this game?
This game just makes me tired, so
it was a Sunday night game, and it just very much disappointed.
You know it's bad when I can fully focus on my homework knowing I can't miss anything.
Yeah.
Because Sunday night's usually me like on the computer doing work, but I'm like also watching, going back and forth. Maybe the assignment gets dragged on unnecessarily long because I'm watching the game, but this one I was just typing away.
I was lasered in studying for accounting.
Yeah. I'll prayers to
which, you know, good for me, I guess.
Good for you, being scholarly.
I did well on my test, if you were wondering.
Let's clap it up for.
But I don't think I needed to study that much. Looking back at it,
for accounting,
it was a lot easier than I thought.
I do not like
enough
you
about
this
accounting.
I
We're
hated
not
accounting.
an accounting podcast. So you want to talk about your team?
I don't.
The Patriots. They lose to the Ravens. We're bringing out the tombstone, or at least Grayson is.
Season's over.
Wow. 3 weeks in, and
Mac
the Patriots
Jones,
season is over.
Mac Jones is out for at least 6 to 8 weeks, I believe.
Bailey Zappi.
This
This is when Bailey Zappi takes over, and he's the actual heir to Tom Brady.
Maybe he's the true Tom Brady to Tom Brady. He is the Tom Brady to Tom Brady's, or Mac Jones heir to Drew Bledsoe.
He is the Tom Brady.
Mac Jones is Drew Bledsoe.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to say.
If Mac Jones hadn't gotten hurt in this game, there were so many positives that I could have taken away from it. Like, they moved the ball down the field actually pretty well. Devontae Parker finally showed up and was making those 50-50 balls that we never saw last year from the Patriots. It was basically like what we wanted N'Keal Harry to be. But still the same Mac Jones decision making this season. Every time it feels like all of his interceptions have been four of them this year have all been exclusively fade balls to Devontae Parker. So they're still trying to work out the connection. So I kind of could give him a little slack. There was one throw that he made that was absolutely atrocious on Sunday that he threw it right to the linebacker. So I'm like this, right? I was like this, but he was also making really good throws, good decisions. But then when he gets hurt, you were just like,
Yeah.
Because you can't, when it's Lamar Jackson on his prove it year, I was just like, okay, he's going to smoke us. And he did. But, so I'm putting the season in the tank.
Let it all out.
If Brian Hoyer somehow leads us to like over 500, we're winning the Super Bowl is all I'm saying.
All right.
But I won't get as nuts as Kieran and be like top 10 QB here. But.
Okay. I respect that.
Sorry for my rant, guys.
On the Ravens side, Lamar's going to get paid a lot of money, like you said.
I think he's leading the league in touchdowns.
I was about to say, trivia question. How many teams has Lamar scored more touchdowns than?
I believe it's is it in like the 20s, I believe? It's a lot from what based on is it 12?
No. Or how many touchdowns he has?
No,
he has 12 touchdowns.
He has 12, but how many touchdowns has he scored more than?
He has scored more touchdowns than 30 NFL teams.
Jesus.
He has been a part of every single Ravens touchdown.
That doesn't shock me.
He has rushed for 2, thrown for 10.
So
the only other team that has 12 touchdowns is the Lions. So,
Lions,
in total touchdowns scored, it is the Lions and Lamar Jackson, and then every other team in the
everybody
NFL
else
underneath. So Lamar Jackson is going to get a lot of money in this offseason.
We know how we said Devontae Smith is him. Lamar Jackson is that guy. He's him. Normally, you know how normally when you're a fan of your team and you're just getting absolutely smoked by their team's quarterback and you're just so mad, you're like, how can we stop him? I just wasn't mad. I was just in appreciation of what I was witnessing.
Yeah.
Because Patriots couldn't do a darn thing about it. It was just that simple.
Yeah.
It was, oh man. So.
Although, I forgot to mention, Devin Duvernay did score a touchdown on kickoff. So he doesn't have 100%. It might have just been on offense.
He's got a lot, though.
But, yeah, he does have a lot of touchdowns
He's got a lot.
regardless. Why don't we do some overreactions before
let's overreact.
Kick out of here.
Now, Patrick, I believe you're going to educate me on a certain...
So...
you're going to educate me.
One of my overreactions. Okay. One of my 2 overreactions. Kenny Galladay is a bigger fraud than the Enron scandal. Now, if you are unaware of what the Enron scandal is, I learned it in management a few weeks ago. So I'm applying my degree knowledge.
Oh, I was probably not paying attention during this.
Enron, if you did not know, was a fake company that In a span of 4 years, lost stockholders $74 billion.
Just like the Giants. Just not billions.
Kenny Galladay, bigger fraud than that.
Really? I don't
yes.
really feel like that overreaction is that bad though, because he trash.
So his contract was, albeit only for $72 million, but
Still
he played something like 25 snaps last night against the Cowboys. He's not. I mean, this team is absolutely depleted of receiving talent. Wan'Dale Robinson is hurt. Sterling Shepard just tore his ACL. You are starting Richie James. Kadarius Toney is, who knows what, hurt probably.
I think he's just a one-game injury.
I think he's hurt. You are starting David Sills and Richie James. And until last night, Sterling Shepard. I feel bad for him.
I know. It was like the last offensive play too. So literally.
Yeah, it stinks for him. But
sucks.
Kenny Galladay should be able, if he were able to put forth some kind of effort, because he is clearly not earning it, according to Dabble and the Giants coaching staff. He should be able to walk into this team and demand like 15 targets a game.
Yeah, but like he's the definition of one of those players. Like, you know how there's a lot of people that stereotype the NFL as like they get their money and they stop trying? It's exactly what
what Kenny Galladay is doing.
It validates a lot of people's points.
So, yeah, that is my overreaction. Kenny Galladay. Absolute fraud. Anyways, do you want to do your negative? And then we'll end on two positives.
One on a positive note. My negative reaction, so I don't know if you saw the reports, ladies and gentlemen, but Josh McDaniels had a lengthy conversation with the owner after the loss to the Titans. I'm going to say that Josh McDaniels will not only be fired by the end of the season, if not during the season, because the Raiders are prone to do some crazy stuff. He will be the offensive coordinator of the New England Patriots next year.
Wow. Okay.
He'll come back. And then, well, that's not good because he'll probably be the heir apparent to Belichick and then screw up the Patriots.
So you really think he's going to last less than one season?
I think that it has been not the ideal start they wanted, and if it continues to trend downwards like this, I would not be shocked if Al Davis he is the kind of guy that strikes me as one that makes a pretty big move.
Fair enough. Yeah. I was trying to think, actually, who do you think the first head coach to get fired would be?
Probably going to be Matt Rule, but...
yeah, that'd be a good bet. That'd probably be the safe bet. But okay, Josh McDaniels will be fired. Do you think he'll be the first one fired?
No.
Okay.
Because I think Matt Rule will be fired within like the season.
Okay.
Because the Panthers are...
Oh, so you're saying Josh McDaniels lasts through the whole season?
I think he'll last, but I think it'll be evident that it's not really going to work.
Okay.
That's my prediction. Now this is why we call them overreactions, because he could very well turn this around.
Yeah.
But it's not looking good so far.
Okay, fair enough. What do you think their record is if Rich Bisaccia is still their head coach?
I just think because of continuity and stuff like that, I'd say 1-2, maybe 2-1.
I think he just had better vibes.
Yeah.
With the team.
Well, the team loved him too.
Yeah. So.
And he pretty much led them through like the one of the most scandalous like moments in Raider history with John Gruden. And so I thought he was going to be the head coach. I honestly thought he was. They were under 500. The Henry Ruggs thing, everything that happened, I thought he was going to be. I thought he was a surefire bet. I didn't think they were going to take any interviews. But.
Well, yeah. Anyways, to end on a lighter note.
Yeah.
I guess I'll give my overreaction. George Pickens, by the end of this year, will have one of the greatest highlight tapes on YouTube ever assembled.
He already might have the greatest catch. That was ridiculous.
Yeah. So let me clarify. He's not gonna have the best season ever. I just think his highlight tape, the Ball is Life and one mixtape, putting it to a bunch of instrumental music.
Or the Patrick Neal one. Patrick makes some pretty good tapes.
It's been a while. But anyways, you're putting it to that. You ever watch like the Ball is Life mixtapes?
I could see myself scrolling down the YouTube.
The Tavon Austin.
Oh my God.
Classic.
It's classic.
Classic mixtape. Someone's gonna assemble one of George Pickens, and it is gonna be one of the best of all time. This man, if you did not see it, it was on Thursday night, so we're going back a little bit. Had one of the greatest catches ever.
It was.
I don't think it's quite near the level as OBJ, but it is close.
Yeah, I think the OBJ one will never be touched just because of the moment. And then we were at Triples on Thursday. We have a tradition with my buddies. We go downtown to watch Thursday night games. We've done that twice now, so I guess you can call it a tradition.
Yeah, because you've done it more than once.
Yeah, but we're down there, and the amount of people that like were just watching that, and then just oh my god, like it was crazy.
I mean, the body control he has to like turn his body, catch it with one hand, come down with it was absurd.
It was all, like also over the shoulder too, so he had to like.
There was like that catch last year, if you remember. Terry McLaurin had one like week 1 against the Chargers. It was pretty similar. McLaurin had 2 hands on it, but
yeah. The body control.
That is one of my overreactions.
I think
George Pickens will have an elite highlight tape.
He will, and if not this year, he will at some point.
Yeah.
Needs a quarterback.
Why don't we finish it with your positive overreaction?
Jalen Hurts will win the NFL MVP.
Okay.
It really, if it was not an overreaction, I'd probably say Lamar Jackson, but that's probably more of like an obvious take. This is more of just like an over. You gotta shoot for the moon here for these ones.
I like it.
Jalen Hurts, really like what he's done. Improvements through the roof. Very, very impressed with what he's done. I think that the Eagles also would have a pretty good story too. Probably could finish number 1 in the NFC. Have this just Sirianni taking this A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and they're only going to get better as they continue to put A.J. Brown more into this offense, just because he's still relatively new with the trade happening in the spring. But I cannot wait. They're fun to watch too, and Jalen Hurts is also a heck of a guy, and he is in the weight room. If you've seen the Oklahoma squat, 600 pounds. But yeah, that's my overreaction. I really don't feel the need. I don't feel like I have to defend it just because Jalen Hurts' play on the field does it for me. Yeah,
I think that's a very good take, and I don't think it's, at least at this point in the season, not much of an overreaction at all. No. But so I think it could very much happen. But that's going to do it for this episode of The Cover 2, presented by TigerVision. Any last thoughts before we head out?
I'd say check out our other shows. We have For the Love of Film, which just did something on Thor, Love, and Thunder, and also The Extra Point just dropped, and they have a brand new intro. So you might want to check that out.
You might want to.
Pretty snazzy.
Yeah. So I want to thank everybody in the back that is producing this, as always.
Shout out to Zach.
And that's going to do it for this episode of The Cover 2. We want to thank you all for watching, and we'll see y'all next time. Have a good one.